Muni says it's on its road to recovery and offering some new perks for riders to get back on transit, even though still working remotely. SFMTA Director Jeff Tumlin joins us now to talk about that. And thanks for joining us, Jeff.
Thanks, April. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so first introducing some new fare passes for those who don't go into office 5 days a week. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, so pre-COVID, a lot of our riders would buy a monthly fast pass and be able to ride Muni 5 days a week. Not all of our commuters are doing that anymore. So we're introducing a 10-ride pass in order to allow folks a good discount if you only have to come into the office 3 or 4 days a week.
Oh, that's interesting. So transit agencies suffered such a huge blow to their budgets during the pandemic. So how do you plan to recover from that? And are you expecting to raise fares anytime soon?
Well, we are so grateful to the federal government and especially Speaker Pelosi. Just last March, we learned that we were receiving an additional tranche of money that's finally allowing us to get back towards full Muni service. We have over 1,000 vacancies at the agency, and we've got a lot of hiring to do. So if your listeners want a job, just search for SFMTA jobs. Meanwhile, we are investing in a lot of service expansion and making sure that we're going to keep fares low until we have recovered. So our next 2-year budget not only includes free Muni for all youth, but it also keeps fares flat for the next 2 years while we work to restore service.
Okay, and Muni suffered severe staffing shortages during the pandemic, especially during the Omicron surge. So do you have any plans to increase those staffing levels at all?
Yes, we are hiring like crazy. So please do think about a career in public transportation. We're hiring in every job category. We're also continuing to work to make sure that our riders and our workforce are safe. Almost everyone continues to wear masks on Muni. We're doing the same level of COVID-era cleaning so that our buses are cleaner than ever before. And we're also investing heavily in personal security, including adding to the 20 transit ambassadors that we hired at the end of last year. We're adding an additional 22 more because we know how important it is that our riders feel safe and secure.
And nothing is more important than that. So the agency is also making a commitment to improving transit performance in underserved communities. So is there any progress on that front at all?
Yes. Throughout the pandemic, we have used our data in order to prioritize service recovery for our passengers that need service the most. And so, for example, right now, we're actually providing better service in the Bayview neighborhood than we did pre-COVID. In addition to that, we are investing heavily in reliability improvements. Remarkably, Muni on our main lines is faster and more reliable than it was pre-COVID. These are innovations that we had to invest in during the worst days of lockdown in order to be able to maintain social distancing. And these are programs that we plan to continue over the next 2 years.
All right, and the Central Subway project is making progress as well. So what's the status on that right now?
Yeah, I was just down in the subway last week. We're making really substantial progress. This weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we connect the Central Subway into Muni's T3rd line, allowing trains to go straight from Bayview right into the Central Subway onto Chinatown. We're at about 98% completion. The project contractor hands over the service to the SFMTA next month, and we're still on schedule for fall service opening date.
That's awesome. So now that the Van Ness bus rapid transit is finally completed, the Geary Rapid project is now in the works. So how's that coming along?
Yes, well, the Van Ness project, now that it's complete, is wildly successful. We're getting about a 30% travel time savings in the northbound direction, about a 15% travel time savings in the southbound direction. But we also learned a lot of hard lessons on Van Ness, and we're incorporating those lessons into our work on Geary and on Taraval. Both of those streets we're rebuilding in order to prioritize transit. And both of those projects are on time and on budget. So in Geary, we're doing the transit-only lanes on the right-hand side instead of the center in order to dramatically reduce construction impacts and costs while delivering fast, frequent, and reliable and safe transit along the entire corridor. We're making the middle section of Geary work, the experimental work that we did, we're going to make that permanent. And now we're doing community engagement for the work in the outer stretch of Geary from Stanton to 34th Avenue.
Well, a lot to look forward to for the future of the SFMTA. Jeff Tumlin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.